I was talking to one of my students the other day that I could start a personal brand and sell a digital product within 7 days.
I bet you I could start a brand new Instagram and a new digital product all from scratch, and I could make my first sale in like 7 days.
Bullshit, man.
But he thought I was fucking pulling his leg. He was also complaining about how he doesn't have time to learn all this stuff or put time into it because he was at work and, you know, life's so fucking busy. So, to prove him wrong, I've decided to build a completely new digital product from scratch and sell it within 7 days. But I'm only allowed to work on it between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. because that's the time he actually has available after work. I'm gonna be starting this shit from scratch, a product that I've never fucking done. If I pull this off, I can prove that anyone can escape their 9 to 5. If I don't, I have to fly him to whatever fucking Bali location, holiday destination he wants to go to. So we better fucking pull this off. By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name's Ethan. I'm an ex-FIFO worker that went from working 60-hour weeks out in FIFO to then building a personal brand and having, I think I've got 240-something thousand followers and making hundreds of thousands of dollars in the process. Which is cool and all, but what's cooler is the 240 people that I've helped do the exact same. So without further ado, let's start the timer and see if I can actually fucking do this. Right, so the first thing we need to do is select our niche. 8 out of 10 people will go make their product first before they even figure out what fucking niche they're in, before doing any market research on it or anything like that, which is fucking backwards. A lot of people overcomplicate this whole process trying to find like the perfect niche. What we're pretty much going to do is find a niche that's hot right now and we actually have knowledge in. Now, when I say with something we actually fucking know about, I don't mean you have to be like a perfect expert. It just has to be something you're passionate about. You have to know a little bit about something you can spend hours talking about without sounding like you're reading off fucking Wikipedia or some shit. Imagine building a company from scratch, spending 5 years on it, only to find out that no one actually gives a fuck about it, no one actually wants to buy it, and you could have saved all that time by just doing some market research. Some examples of niches could be traveling. Maybe you're a single mum and you can help single mums through their single mum fucking problems. I've never been a single mum before, but I guarantee they've fucking got them. Right, so the first thing we need to do is go to ChatGPT and figure out our fucking niche. And what I pretty much asked is, hey, I'm a content creator, what skills do I have to make digital products out of? It gave me a pretty solid list. So we've got content strategy, audience building, editing, personal brand building, monetization. I'm not even going to attempt to say that word, but I know what it means. It's like the mind. So looking at this list, I think we're going to pick editing because it's probably a really easy skill for a lot of you guys to learn. So you can follow this whole step exactly by the thing. And I know editing very well, so it's probably a perfect skill for us to be able to actually make a digital product that's actually valuable and people are actually going to get some shit out of. So we're going to pick editing and run through that sort of shit. Righto, so the next thing I put in is give me a list of pros and cons about the skill of editing and making a digital product from it, because we need to know obviously the good things, like our strengths, but then also some things to watch out that maybe we can change also. So for the pros, we got high in demand, especially short form. So I think that's what we're going to focus on. Easily produced. Nice. Beginner creators are willing to pay. Awesome. Recurring content needs. Awesome. Evergreen. So people are always going to need editing, and people need editing over the whole world. It's not just one country we're sort of stuck to, if you know what I mean. So you can show off product visually. So very good. We can show it off visually, which gives us a good, I guess, advertisement space, you know. Cons, it's a crowded market. Okay, fair enough. Takes time to package. Not everyone uses the same ads. Beginners need hand holding. Your skill could get underpriced. Okay, so the only two problems I see right now, takes time to package. We're going to fix that fucking problem. I'll show you to do it. We're going to do it right now. Not everyone uses the same apps. Not a problem. Beginners need hand holding. Sometimes yes, but that's all right. That's the point of us being able to come in and help them. Your skill gets under. So the only two main problems I see is it's a crowded market and it gets underpriced. So those are my two sort of problems, which I think we're going to be able to fix with just sort of one solution. When you have like a crowded market, it's normally called like a Red Sea. So you have like a Red Sea. If you think of like fitness influencers, there's fucking a ridiculous amount of fitness influencers. But if we shift our marketing to fitness influencers for fucking tradies, or fitness influencers for pregnant women, or editors for people that make money online and they post about that sort of stuff, or editors for people that make skits or something like that, you know, if we niche down, we then create a blue ocean out of the red ocean. So we're going to do that, and we're going to focus on the make money online guys to fix maybe the problem of the underpriced. Obviously, everyone's going to want the best deal, but with obviously my skill of now having sales and being able to remote close, it's not going to be a problem. We're going to be able to make them be able to see the value and make them feel like they need what we've got. So these are problems that I think are really going to be in our way at the moment. So we'll get into actually setting something up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to looker.com and we are going to create pretty much our logo. It's free, it does all that sort of stuff for us. Enter your company name. So I went to ChatGPT and asked it to give me a company name for the editing thing. There's a bunch of different ones here with different vibes. What I think we're going to go with is, I would say, a bunch of different ones. Cash flow clips is what we're going to go with. So come into Looker and we go cash flow, that's one word, flow clips. Punch that into there. Pick an industry, we just go digital agency, perfect. Pick some logos. We're gonna pick some fucking logos. I'm not too fussy at the moment. Logo's not gonna matter that much. Obviously it's good to have a nice looking logo, but we're on a time limit and I think my skill of sales and marketing is going to beat what the logo actually fucking looks like. So we'll keep going through this. We need a slogan. So what is a small slogan for cash flow clips? So we've given us a bunch again. We got edits, post, profit. I like that. Edit, post, profit. That will fucking do. Perfect. First one. Edit, post, profit. Oh yeah, too easy. Pick some symbol types. We're just going to chuck in digital marketing, tranquility, ideas, doesn't matter too much. Righto, so it's given us a bunch of logos to choose from. Let's have a look. I like this one. Straight off the bat, this one's nice and clean. I'm not too fussed about what our logo's going to look like. Normally you have to buy this sort of stuff, but we're just going to straight rip it because we're only going to be doing this just for fun, just to prove that we can actually make money. Normally you would have to spend a little bit to sign in, I'm not quite sure. So the next thing I've done is I've just set up a new Gmail and I'm going to be setting up a new Instagram to obviously market our service or product on. So we can get straight into that. I've made the Gmail already and I'm just making the Instagram now. Righto, so we just set up a new Instagram profile. It's got fucking nothing on it, which is alright though. We're just going to set this up for maximum, obviously, attraction for this page here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up this logo right here. We got cash flow clips. Now when you're doing your bio for Instagram or any sort of page where you've got a product, we need to make it very clear. It's pretty important what we put in there. So normally for the first thing we put, I guess, our mission statement. So to start with, we're going to put, actually is we're going to go to ChatGPT and ask it, write me a bio that converts for this Instagram page. Righto, here we go. We got some bio options that ChatGPT has given us. Normally when you do a bio, the first line is, I guess, your mission statement. So like whether you're a tradie trying to make money online, or your video editor that's trying to make a bunch of viral videos, I guess. Whatever your mission statement is sort of the first line. The second line is how you're going to do it. And then the third line is going to be our CTA in the bio, so people have some sort of direction on the actual page. So what we're going to do is we're going to go viral edits, creator templates. I'm not in love with these. ChatGPT doesn't always give us the first stuff, but we're going to copy and paste this little setup here, and we're just going to tweak it slightly. So we're going to just paste that into here. Viral edits. Turn your content into cash flow. That's our fucking, what we want for these guys. They want to understand that the videos they're going to be getting is actually going to make them money. They're not just spending money for random reasons. And then CTA, grab a free plug or play real templates. I don't like that because we're not making real templates for this 7-day challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to put, shoot me the word edits to get started. We're gonna use Z because we're fucking so cool. To get started, too fucking easy, right? So this is our bio. Shoot me the word edits to get started. So they've got a clear direction on, like, you know, if they see our stuff, they want to get involved, they want to get their stuff edited by us, they know exactly how to get in contact with us, or how they should be getting in contact with us. So too fucking easy. Gender, prefer not to say. We're gonna go submit. We do not have a website yet. We'll set that up later. Okay, so we've got our bio sorted. Awesome. Next thing I need to do is just fix that profile picture on my phone. Perfect, that'll do. Righto, so we got the bio set up. We got a nice fucking profile picture. Next thing we need to do is highlights and pin posts. So we're pretty much planning out content, really. Right, so now that our account's set up, we're going to be going through probably one of the most crucial steps through this whole process. And trust me, if you learn this skill, you get good at this skill, there's so many sub-skills, I'd fucking call them, that you can then monetize and make money from. To probably thousands of people and make really good money. And that skill is content creation. Bringing eyeballs to your page and then learning how to eventually turn all those eyeballs into cash or buying customers. Understanding content creation is accumulation of sub skills. Think about it like this: you've got like a toolbox and you've got to go do a project. You've got your hammers, you've got your measuring tape, you've got your level, you've got all this shit, right? Each one of those tools do different things for different jobs, but you need them all to build a fucking house. We can't just build a house with just a hammer and no level and no measuring tape. We need all of them to make a good quality house. Content creation, it's the exact same. The skills I'm talking about are ideation, scripting, editing, recording the videos. Each one of these skills you can make money off just by itself, but when you master all of them, you're gonna print fucking cash. You're like God. You're like God. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna divide content creation into pretty much 4 steps. Ideation, scripting, recording, then editing. You might think ideation is probably the easiest part, but mate, this is easily the hardest part, because a good idea can get you 100,000 views, or it can get you fucking 12 and now you're crying to your mum. What we're gonna do is we're gonna set a timer, and for the next, I guess, half an hour, we're gonna try and come up with as many ideas as we can for the next 7 days. What I usually tell my students is that you should post 2 to 3 reels a day. So we're gonna be coming up with 21 scripts, and then also the different types of videos, the actual formula that I tell them to use when you're trying to grow a page, when you're trying to attract leads also. So let's get into that.
Right, my camera just went flat, so we're gonna have to use the camera fucking zoom for this little bit. So we got Trello. We're just gonna call this editing. Oh no, we'll go cash flow. There we go. Too easy. So this is our Trello. This is our pretty much our board. The way we're gonna set this up is we're just gonna go scripts. It's gonna be 1 column. Then we're gonna be recorded. And then what we're gonna do is edited and posted. So it's super simple. This is a super simple setup, but it works really well when you're trying to create a bunch of videos, because it's easy for things to get lost, and it's just easy to have a nice sort of spreadsheet or a nice workflow for everything to move across, especially if you're working with maybe more than one person and you want to move it across slowly. So I'm going to number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, so I've pretty much just listed out a bunch of cards. So what I've got is all my cards here. I'm gonna be filling all these out now. I'm just gonna script a bunch of videos with the formula that I normally use. I'll script all that out real quick, and then I'll talk about the formula that I've actually used and come up with once I've got it all down. So let me get into this, and I'll see you in a minute.
Righto, so I've just read out all the ideation and ideas for my content for the next week. So the first thing I did is I went to ChatGPT and said, give me 10 pain points my client would be facing. The reason I'm doing this is because we want to obviously relate with our avatar and create a problem for them, make them problem aware. If they're not aware of the problem already, or they might be already, make them aware of the problem, then solution, and then our product is the bridge there. There's a big gap right now on the problem and where they want to get to. That's what we're making clear in our videos, on these videos. So what I did is looked up the pain points, just got 10, and it gave me a bunch of really good pain points. So I just came into Trello and wrote P1, P2, P3, all the way up to 10, and put all those pain point ideas in there. So when I come back in a minute, I can script them all based off this pain point and then the solution. So that's a pain point ones. 4 up here, the top 3, this is probably the most important out of our videos. These are going to be our pinned posts. So our pinned posts, the reason pinned posts are so important is because it's like the receptionist for the account. It's like when you go into an office, the lady's sitting there and she, you know, tells you where to go or tells you what's going on, so you're not all fucking confused and shit like that. This is pretty much our receptionist. So we got my story, photos on how we can help, and then showing products. So the 3 pin posts we're really going to be using is we're going to be doing my story is probably the first one, and that's the reason we're doing that is so we can try get them to know, like, and trust me enough to obviously use me as an editor or buy my product and trust that it's a good product. They know who they're working with. So it's my story. That's just gonna be a video explaining who I am, my experience, shit like that. Photos, how we can help. So I'm gonna be doing a carousel on pretty much like maybe start with some sort of hook to drag in my avatar, and then throughout it give value, talk about how we can actually help, how we actually, what we actually do, things we offer, and solutions I guess we solve. So, and then the last one would be showing the product. So this is like a video where it's gonna have like a raw clip and then our edited version, like our updated version, our better version, so they can clearly see, I guess, how good the product is before they even have to buy. So those are going to be our three pin posts. Obviously we don't have testimonials because they've never done a fucking editing agency before. So yeah, but that's that. And then down here we got 4 before and afters. This is going to be the exact same as one of our pin posts. We're going to have just a raw clip and then the updated version, the better version that we've edited. With these though, we're going to be using famous people that are already famous, people that already have big personal brands, and we're going to be grabbing their raw clips and making them better. The reason we're doing this is because we're going to pretty much leverage their personal brand for our own. We're going to use their face to get a bit of more traction. People already know, like, and trust them, and then we're showing them a better edit. So this is 1, good for obviously better views, but then 2, also good for maybe even those people that we do stitch or those people that we do edit might reach out to us and say, hey man, I really like your edit, can I work with you? And you go, fucking sick, too easy. So those 4, and then we have these 4 here, which are like our top funnel. This is like stuff that doesn't really have to do with our product. All we're trying to do is just go viral to our avatar. We're just trying to go viral to our avatar or our clients, and try and get them to like, you know, comment, share, whatever it may be, so that we're now in their ecosystem. What happens is when someone likes a video or they comment on a video, they share a video, what will happen is more of my videos will start popping up into their feed, and then that's when we can deliver the pain points and the product and all that sort of stuff. So they're more focused on trying to grow, but they're super important. So normally I wouldn't probably go too hard on the pain point ones, but it's just because I guess we have such a short time frame. I need to cover a lot of pain points to be relatable, and yeah, I think it, like, if it was a long-term sort of play, this is probably a little bit too much middle bottom funnel. We would focus more on like make it more even, if that makes sense, between all this sort of stuff. So, but because we have a short amount of time, we're just gonna be going go, trying to get a client. But I pretty much figured I got all the ideas for that off ChatGPT. I pretty much asked ChatGPT to give me 10 top funnel content ideas from clients to try get them to share and or comment. Gave me a bunch. They weren't really funny. They were a bit too business model focused. So I said, make them funny, nothing to do with the product. And then it gave me a couple good ones. So it gave me a couple good ones. I used the ones I liked, and then the other ones weren't that good. So I just asked for another 10, and then it gave me another 10. And then now we have 4 very good top funnel pieces that we can use. And we don't really have to script for these either. For them, we don't have to script. And for these, we don't have to script. The pain point ones, we don't really have to script either. We just have to figure out a solution and the hook. The hook is probably the most important part, and then we're just really talking normally. So we'll get into scripting all this sort of stuff properly right now. So if I look at problem 1, this is probably like a video. We'll show you, I'll script 1 with you guys and then the rest will be on time lapse, because I'm sure you don't want to sit here and watch me script every single video for 10 minutes. So we'll just go through all this stuff now. So pretty much I spend hours editing and still don't get views. Write a script for this pain point. It gave me one. It was trying to be funny still, so make it more serious. We're just going to ask it to make it more serious. Emotional grounded version, perfect. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so ChatGPT did a pretty shit job. I can't really be bothered mucking around with it too much. I think I can just write this probably quicker and better than what this can and still be effective. So we're just going to get into that. First thing first is the hook. So this is our hook. We're going to go after 3 months of posting content, spending hours editing and getting no views. That's our hook, and then we're going to go into, we've now addressed the problem. We've now addressed the time frame of that problem as well, how long I sort of struggled with that. And now we're going to go into, I guess, the body and what the video is actually about and give some value, and then also the end result. So my scripting style that I actually do for when I write scripts for myself, they're a lot more broken down, because I don't like to, I guess, have it word for word, because I struggle to read off it and not sound like a fucking robot. So I normally have the hook that's written out perfectly, but then after that, it's like the topic and then the pain point or something, like whatever it may be, in dot points, and then I can just sort of read it and go, okay, that's what it actually was I meant, and then just let it roll off the tongue, because I think sounding natural is a lot more important than just being a fucking robot. After 3 months of posting content, spending hours editing and getting no views, everything changed when I started doing this one thing. It's called stitching. So we're now introducing the stitching. So we've got them through, if we get them through the hook, then we have the, I guess, end desire, everything changing, and then introducing stitch. So now we're going to go into pretty much value for them. We're teaching them something. So explain what stitching is. Stitching is pretty much where you go find like a viral video that's already viral, and you just put it in front of your video, and then you're either reacting to it or you're adding on to whatever it may be. And that way you don't need to, there's no guesswork. There's still a little bit, but there's less guesswork, because that video is already going viral, so there's a very high chance that it's going to go viral again. So stitching is a great way. It's super valuable. People, if they watch my video on this and then try it and then get results, they're gonna follow me and they're gonna trust that I know what's going on, I guess. So explain stitching, explain why stitching's good, pretty much what I just said to you guys then, and then a CTA. So a CTA is a call to action. We're pretty much going to be saying, I normally just make it up when I'm filming, but we're going to be saying comment whatever, and I'll send you the best stitch of this week or something like that. That might work. And I'll before I post this, I'll go find the best stitch of the week. So that is pretty much how I script. Like it's very basic. I'm not like a big scripter. I just always do the hooks and then just dot points after that. So I think it's a great way if you're making videos for yourself. If you're making videos for other people, you're going to have to go into more detail, but it's not hard, because you can just read, you can do dot points and then just read it out for yourself, or maybe you know the way that person talks and you can write it for them. So I'm going to punch through the rest. We don't have much time, so I'll get through that now. So it is 10:01, so we're gonna have to stop for the night. But I think there's good progress. We're pretty much ready to, get some content out tomorrow. and actually start marketing this shit. That's going to be probably our biggest problem, marketing. It's such a short time frame for us to experiment and try new things. That will be, setting up the product, all that sort of stuff. We can do that within an hour, but marketing and actually selling a client, that's going to be the hardest part. So we definitely need to get that started tomorrow. So I guess I'll see you all then. Righto, day 2. So today's plan, we didn't get a whole heap done yesterday because we sort of started a bit late, but today's plan is we need to get content out there. We need to actually just do that. So we're gonna finish off scripting everything. I'm gonna show you how to do that. Then we're actually gonna film, edit our first videos, try to get our first videos out there and sort out the whole offer so that all we really have to worry about for the next week is just marketing and actually sales. So we'll get straight into it. We have all our script ideas here. Pretty much what we have to do now is just work out hooks and then the whole scripting of it. So one of the quickest ways that we're going to do this, because we're in a bit of a time rush at the moment, is we're just going to head over to ChatGPT and we are going to ask it, what's this one? I don't know what kind of content actually converts. Righto, so I'm going to go, hey, I'm making content, trying to sell my editing service. Can you write me a script for this topic to give value on the question? I don't know what kind of content actually converts. Let's see what it comes out with. Sometimes you have to play around with this a little bit to make it kind of good, but we'll see. Perfect. Righto, so it's come out with a perfect script straight away. So what we're simply gonna do is we're just going to copy and paste all of that into our Trello, just so when I go to film it, I know exactly what's going on. Paste. Perfect. Save that. And then normally what I do, I don't tick it. What I do is I just label it a color. So I'm going to choose green, and that means it's completely finished, right? It's finished. I can now work through all of them, because after we do all of these, I might get a bit confused. So label them all colored, and then once that's finished and I've filmed them, I can tick them. So I'm just going to run through all these real quick and give them all scripts, and then we can start filming. Right, so I've just finished scripting all of these out. I've done pretty much all of them except the before and afters, just because we don't really need to script it. We're just going to edit those videos. We're going to find a video to edit. Problem solved. We don't need to do any scripting for that. They're all scripted. Now, all we need to do is record. So I'm going to quickly record all these. One thing I did want to say is when you guys are making scripts, make sure you read it out in your voice. If you're actually going to be on camera talking, make sure you read it out in your voice, make sure it sounds natural. If you're using ChatGPT to try write scripts, sometimes it comes up with words that you don't normally say, and then when you try to say it doesn't sound very natural. It doesn't matter how good your hook is, it doesn't matter how good the body or your scripting or the editing or anything like that. If you sound like a fucking robot, no one's going to watch it. So make sure it sounds very natural. But yeah, I'm going to get straight into filming these and try to smash it out as quick as I can. Right, so I've just done the voiceovers for my story, all of these ones here, and the top funnel ones as well. We've done all of that, all the skits. We haven't done the photos and stuff yet because we don't really need to film anything for that. The showing product, we need to actually edit something for that. So we're pretty much done in terms of filming for the next week. All we really need to do is edit now, really. So now that that's done, I'll move all of these across into recorded. Perfect. So now we've got a clean new bit here of things that I've scripted out. They just haven't been filmed or they need to be edited. Or we need to find what we need to edit with this, and then the rest here is all recorded, ready to be edited and moved over here. One thing though with filming, and a lot of people sort of struggle with, is the fear of judgment. The fear of what's this person going to think, what's that person going to think, because you're putting yourself out there on the internet, you're exposing yourself, you might be trying something new, and it can be scary. My best bit of advice for someone that sort of struggles with that is just to honestly realize that no one actually gives a fuck about you. It's so easy to get caught up thinking that you're the main character and everyone's looking about you, but no one cares about you more than you actually do. No one's thinking about you. No one's keeping track of what you actually do, what you try, whether you fail or not. Even if you do fail, it's going to be forgotten about in a month. It's something that's always going to be scary, but once you realize that no one actually gives a fuck about you, it's not that bad. But if you care that much about it, stay broke. Right, so we're going to start editing. All I care about with editing, really, the main focus is clean cuts with the audio, so make sure that we're keeping engaging all the way through, there's no dead space. Our captions are using the LSC method, which means short, large and clear, so everyone can read it. Pretty much want it as simple as possible. We don't want it too flashy. And then also making sure we're picking music that's either trendy or suits the vibe of the video. So I use CapCut on my phone. That's what I use to edit. It's free. I think you guys should all use it as well. You don't need to be flashy with all this special shit to go viral on the internet. So I just use CapCut on my phone. Super simple, super quick. And yeah, so we're gonna get into that. Righto, so I've just finished the My Story, the photos, how we can help, showing the product and our first sort of CTA video. What I'm gonna do now is, this is all we're gonna post today. So we're not gonna be able to post anymore. This is pretty much max. Like, we've got our pin posts and that's gonna be a good foundation for our page. And then obviously our first sort of like bit of content. Before we go into editing the rest, I'll edit the rest today. Now that I've got all this sort of set up, we're gonna post it right now and then focus on the actual product. We're doing a service, we're not doing an actual digital product, not an ebook or anything like that. The reason I've done that is because it's a lot quicker and easier to set up. The whole value of it is based off my skill set. So I don't really have to try outlay a bunch of information and make sure it's good and make sure it's understandable. It's a lot easier for me in this short time frame. But yeah, we're just gonna do that and get all the systems set up so when I do get a client, whenever I do start to scale, everything's super systemized, easy, and you know, you're not communicating over fucking Instagram DMs or something like that. So we're gonna go through and just figure out how we're gonna set this up and how we're gonna run it with the clients and what the clients are actually gonna get. So we've just come over to Trello and I've started a new board called Cashflow Editing. So the way we're gonna run this so that it's systemized and super easy to communicate with the actual customer and it's a clear process. We're gonna set up a nice Trello board so we can all work together in the same spot. So the first one we're probably gonna be is ideas, then filmed. So super simple setup here. The way it's gonna work is that the customer will come in, they'll have an idea for a video and they'll make a card for it, right? Once they have the idea, they've filmed it, they've done the exact same that we did with our Trello, they'll put it into here. That now tells me this video is ready to be edited. What that means now is that we need a Google Drive. So we got cash flow editing. The folders we're gonna need in here are raw video, B-roll, new folder, B-roll. Then in raw, we're just gonna put finished as well. So new folder, finished, here, perfect. Righto, awesome. So the way this is gonna work, it's gonna be super simple. The client, just say, has an idea for a video. Right, I wanna make this video. He puts it in here. So then he can work from Trello as well. He puts the idea in here, then he films it. He moves it over into filmed. What he will do in the Google Drive that we give him, obviously he's gonna fill this out and give us B-roll and give us a bunch of different stuff depending who he is and fill that up for us to edit with. But then in raw, what he's gonna do is make a folder called idea, whatever the video is called, create. So this folder is gonna have all the raw stuff I need to edit this video. So once this goes into here, I now know that he's put a folder into here for me to ready to edit. Then the next process is, right, I'm gonna start on this idea, getting edited, sorry. Now this just pretty much tells the client that I know it's in there and I'm working on it right now. So he knows to expect it within a day, within 24 hours. That's normally like a turnaround time that I'd tell someone. From you putting it into film to me actually starting working on it would be 24 hours. So we've put that into there. He now knows I'm working on it. Just to sort of take, the pain off our back, because a big thing when you're working with editors is that the client always wants it as quick as fucking possible. If we put it in there and they can see that we're working on it, we're not going to be getting bothered as much, and we're going to be able to just work. So we're going to do it in there. Once the video is ready and it's edited, we'll move it over into ready for review. And what we'll do is in the idea folder, this will have the raw videos, but we'll also put the finished version in here. So I'll put the finished version in here. All we got to do then is copy the link, the shareable link, and we'll just chuck it in the comments here. So the comments are of the card. So then what the customer can do is they go, oh yeah, we've got this one here ready for review. They click on that. There'll be the link to the Google Drive video there. And then they can just click on it. It'll take them to the next page. They can just watch it super simply and say yes or no, or leave extra comments, you know, just say this is the link. Save there. He can just click on that, watch it. This part's good, that part's bad, whatever, and then put in here fix this part. Leave a comment if he wants something changed, and then we can see, oh yeah, there's another comment. We can check, oh yeah, fix this part. Too easy, fix that up. If everything's all good, we can just move it. He'll move it to approved, and now we know it's all good. We don't have to worry about anything past here, unless we're doing the posting for him. That's a part of our service, but it's not going to be for this week. So he can then put it into posted. It's important to have a posted section, and everything's not just getting, as soon as it's approved, it's gone, because we want sort of like a backtrack of what we've actually done, whether what's performed, what hasn't performed. And then also, I guess it's like a backlog of our work that we've actually done, like proof that we've actually done the work for you, because people forget pretty quick. So it's good to have that there. That's pretty much going to be our super simple system, just using Google Drive and Trello, all free. Anyone should be able to set that up very easily. So that's how we're going to run it. Now that that's set up, we're pretty much ready to just finish off the rest of the editing and just focus on marketing now. Like, this is all we really need to worry about. The next thing, all we need to do is really just get a client. We need to get a client. We need to convince them that we're the right people for them. So let's smash out all these other edits and get some content out there. Right, so I'm just halfway through editing these videos, and I forgot to mention that we need to set up payment, some sort of payment, how they're going to pay us. Now we have a couple different options. If we were using a proper digital product, whether it was video guide or PDF or cookbook or whatever you were doing, I would use Standstore or Gumroad, right? But because we're doing a digital service and we don't really need an actual website, we're only really sending invoices, we're just going to use PayPal for this. So we're just going to make sure you set up a PayPal account, and you can just send invoices through that. The reason we use PayPal is because we're not really targeting, we don't want to do like bank transfer or something like that. Because if we have a client that's in America or in Sweden or wherever they are in the world, international bank transfers are super annoying. But PayPal, super easy, super quick. They can just send them a link and they can pay it just like that straight away. So we're going to do it like that just because it's easy to set up. We're running tight on time. So just wanted to mention that is how we're actually going to be collecting payment for this. But if you were doing a digital product that was, you know, more like an ebook or not an actual service, it was more of an actual product, we would use Gumroad, Shopify, Standstore, just those three. That would be really good. Back to editing. Righto, so we just finished editing. What we're going to do now is we're pretty much going to schedule for the whole fucking week, so we just don't have to think about it ever again. Not ever again, but we don't have to think about it. We can just focus on sales calls, talking to people, actually getting clients. So the way we can schedule is if you just get you get the video up on Instagram and just go down to more options, then we can go schedule this reel, and you just go across, and then you can now pick a time and day. We can schedule for the whole week, so I'm going to go ahead and just schedule all of these for separate times. We're going to be going at least 2 hours apart. We're going to experiment with maybe some different times because it's a brand new audience. It doesn't really matter too much, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we can get into all the other stuff. Awesome. Right, so all of that's now scheduled. We pretty much don't have to think about that for the rest of the time. We are pretty much sorted. We've got our personal brand up and running, and we've got our product all sorted, our system sorted in 2 afternoons. Pretty fucking easy. We still have like 5 days left though to obviously make a sale and land a client. Fuck! I know I've been pretty confident this whole fucking time that I can make it happen, but obviously it's when you get to these points and you know you're sort of playing the waiting game, or you're waiting to see if you've got the results that you actually expected. It's when the little voice in the back of your head's going, fuck, like, is it actually gonna work, blah blah blah. But I just don't fucking listen to that. I just don't listen to that. We don't listen to that here. Right, so it's day 3 and our videos have pretty much flopped so far, which is kind of expected. It's only like 1 day in. Can't expect too much. But one thing we're going to do to speed it up is some cold outreach. So I normally don't do cold outreach. I'm not a massive fan. I think it's a little bit of a waste of time. It's still good. You can still get some good clients through it, but I think content's more effective. But because we've only got 7 days, we're going to fucking smash it because we need to do everything we can so I don't buy this motherfucker a plane ticket. Yeah. So to find creators to cold outreach on Instagram, pretty much what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking up a niche. So whether that's fitness, whether that's relationship, whether it's make money online, whether it's something, right? Some sort of niche, and we're just going to message them all with a message. We'll come up with a good one right now. What I'll do is I'll go to ChatGPT and ask for a cold outreach message. ChatGPT will write it up for us perfectly. So you can see that it's gave us 3 different examples, which are perfect. A little bit of stuff that we have to fill out, obviously, per person, which is fine. It's good to make the message detailed to that person so they feel like we're actually talking about them. It's just not copy and paste. We want to make sure we're using all 3 versions, so we're not just spamming the same message, otherwise our account's going to get flagged and Instagram's going to hate our guts. So we want to rotate between these and then make sure we're changing it up each time. But what we're going to do is we're just going to cold outreach. I've just looked up fitness on Instagram, and we can literally just go to one of these guys who looks like they sell an offer. Here we go. We just found one that sells an offer. All we're going to do is send him a message, one of those messages, and then also to find more just like him, we're just going to click this plus button here and see it comes up with all these other fitness creators. We're just going to go through and message all of them. We're going to try get 50 and then go from there. We're not really going to do more than 50 a day. I think it's a little bit of a waste of a time, and then we're just going to stay in our DMs and talk to some people and hopefully get a sale or book someone onto a call. Let's go. Righto, so just a little update on how we're going so far. Content's been going all right, nothing too crazy. Outreach, pretty much nothing. We pretty much have got nothing back. We got a couple people reply, but they went cold pretty much straight away. So we've had 5 inbound leads. I'm just about to hop on a call with the second one that I've sort of pitched it to. He's keen. He sounds really keen. I've been chatting with him in the DMs, just setting him there. He's sort of got him to list some creators and things that he's sort of wanting to create, so I can get an idea. It's pretty much the exact same editing that he's got now, plus a little bit more effort, because right now he's struggling with not having enough time because he's trying to do everything but trying to run the business, all this sort of shit, which is why he needs me, right? So we've got a really clear idea of what his pain point is before I hop on this call and try and close him. But yeah, like I'm pretty confident we're going to close this guy. It looks like he's got the money. He definitely has a problem in his business right now where he can scale massively. So we can fix this. But yeah, we're about to hop on the call and we'll get straight into it. So what's got you looking for an editor now then?
Oh, look, mate, I just feel like I'm just spending all my time editing and I don't really have any time to do anything else. It's just, yeah, it's really hard to scale when I'm just doing all the editing myself.
For sure. Yeah, okay. So I guess if that's been your goal for the last 6 months, but the reason you haven't been able to get there is because we haven't invested in an editor. We haven't tried to, I guess, cut down your time so you can spend it on things that are more important. How much do you think you've lost over the last 6 months by not taking action on it?
Oh, fuck. Look, mate, probably a fucking shitload, you know?
Yeah. Easy, man. So to run that up and do 2 videos a day for the whole month would be 2,000 USD.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds fair. Let's do it.
Easy. I'll shoot the pay link over now.
Yeah, too easy, mate.
Done deal. Fucking sold! Just like that. What did we do it in? 6 days we made our first bit of online money. Obviously, I didn't take his money because I'm not actually running an editing agency. It's not my digital product. I don't want to do that. This was just as an experiment, just to prove it to John. I recorded that call and I'm going to send it to John now, and then we'll get his reaction and fucking ruin his little excuses. But before we hop on a call, John, I just want to make it really clear that like me being able to do this is just the start. Like just because I was able to do this in 7 days wasn't just because I randomly posted videos and I randomly just made some Instagram and randomly hopped on calls with people. It's because I have a skill set right now and I had no marketing and no sales. I couldn't do this if I didn't know those 2 things, if I didn't know how to set up a system, all that sort of stuff. Because lots of people sort of get caught up with if I'm the best editor, I'm going to make a lot of money, I'm going to have a really good whatever, just the product by itself, which isn't true. It's the skills around that to actually get the money and clients coming in that will make you money, if that makes sense. You need sales, you need marketing. Now, what I've pretty much shown you is like the basic online type of business for like a service. There's so many different other ways. You can do high ticket, we can do low ticket, we can do all sorts of stuff. Maybe some of them might take a little bit more time, but I did this as an example because it's pretty much zero cost for you guys if you wanted to try this. And you can like, it's editing is really the only skill you need to make sure you deliver on a product like this. Yes, you need marketing, yes, you need sales to actually get a client, but if you are lucky and you get a client without those skills, you're still going to be able to deliver, because that's the most important part, making sure we actually deliver on what people are buying. Otherwise, you're going to have unhappy customers and you're going to get called a fucking scammer. So yeah, that's why I chose this, but there's obviously a lot better ways to make money online with high tickets. Even if you just learn sales just by itself. Sales just by itself and become like a remote closer for some digital product, you're going to make heaps of money if you master the actual skill. For an example, like James, who made like over 6K in a week, or Moran, who made 3,000 USD in a week. These guys are both in the same community. I learned sales, I learned marketing, I learned pretty much everything I know from my mentors. And they only do closing. That's it. They just take sales calls. So I think it's been really good for me to learn those skills. It's been really good for them, obviously. Lots of people seem to think this stuff is luck. It's definitely not. It's just following the exact same blueprint, you know, the same outlines, learning the same skills and being able to use them in different ways and having that guidance there. If you guys want help actually implementing this properly instead of just watching me all the time, I do work with a small group inside of ABC where I literally just hold people's hand all the way through it so that they actually get through the entire process without being lost, without being stuck or, you know, coming up with excuses like John did. Getting a mentor isn't for everyone, but I understand a lot of people need that guidance, they need that help, they need all that sort of stuff. I've left a link in the description where you can pretty much find out if you qualify to get a mentor or not. If you want to get mentored from the same guys that taught me the exact same skills that allow me to just pretty much cheat the system like this and be able to not go to work and spend, you know, time away overseas. So if that's something you're interested in, check that out. But we're going to call John real quick and break the news to him. Right, so I've just sent John that call recording. I didn't actually make him pay because I'm not actually doing an editing agency. I just got him to obviously agree and confirm and say he wanted to go through with it and then agree on the price. So it would have been sold. I would have just had to send him the link and he'd just pay for it. But we're not actually obviously running an editing agency. But I just sent it to John and we're about to hop on a call with him. Did you get that call recording?
I did, yeah.
What do you reckon?
Fuck you, bro. I don't know how you done that. Go fuck yourself.